Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. This is Chimera Elite, and today we're talking about the War Gargoyles. Yes, I'm gonna say that like twice, and then I'm done. But before we get into the Gargoyles, I wanted to quickly talk about the gameplay in the background. It's barely gameplay, and it's actually a problem that, at least as far as I know, that both myself and Astral have run into, and this is a recorded, like the first recorded gameplay session of it that I've seen and that I've actually run into. And what's happening is my opponent is 100% AFK. What he did was he queued up for a game. Game came up, accepted the match, accepted everything, and once he got into the actual match, just sat there or just fucking tugged it and went off and did whatever and essentially just wasted my time. And I think that there should be some sort of idle timer or some sort of way to stop that from happening, because if people are just going to do that, then what the fuck? Like, seriously. It's just a silly thing to do. And also, along with that, the game right after, I was, because right now Melmoth's free and I'm messing around with him now. I joined a match, and I queued up, I waited like 5 minutes or whatnot, and I was paired up against a Wolfen. The Wolfen player immediately exited. Like in the army select screen, he immediately just left, because I'm assuming what his thoughts was just, oh shit, Melmoth is free, undead. Wolfen have a severe disadvantage against Melmoth because, for the most part, your main damage is melee. Lion and other undead don't have as much trouble. So he just exited and, again, wasted my time. And I think there are multiple posts about this on the forums. And seriously, I'm probably gonna post a link in either in the video itself or in the description. And just, I want you guys to go to the forums and just take a look at it. Take a look at the shit that people have had to deal with in lieu of there being some sort of penalty system. Because as of right now, you can leave a game and you don't get any penalties for it. You can sit in a game and waste the other person's time because there's no idle sensor. There's no way to tell if you're idle or not, and the game just lets you do whatever you want. The guy just sat there, and essentially I just walked up, because I was a little bit cautious at first, I don't know if he was just screwing with me and waiting for me to make a stupid move. But no, he just sat there, and I went in and killed him. It was a Melmoth versus Melmoth, and a really just stupid comp. Like, it could have been essentially designed as a screw with you comp, because it's your hero and a bunch of really, really squishy units. I don't know what the hell this guy was thinking. But enough of my ranting, enough of my crazy bullshit. Let's move on to this in-depth. Alright, after those shenanigans, it's good to be back doing an in-depth looking at the Gargoyles. And the first one is the Tracking Gargoyle. 59 AP, 6 movement. He's an assault unit, so his stats are going to be actually pretty good. Good accuracy, good parry, fantastic dodge, amazing damage, and typical for the undead and for assault units, he has very bad toughness. He has 6 toughness and 6 will. But he has immunity fear, so his will doesn't really matter. Now he has 4 attributes: fear, flight, immunity fear, and assassin. Flight means you can freaking fly, and it also means that heavy and uncrossable terrain penalties do not apply to you. Meaning you can move pretty much wherever you want, and your 6 movement can be utilized anywhere. It's fantastic. Your other attribute is Assassin, and increase the damage of this unit by 2 for each unit surrounding the opponent that attacks. So if you're running an army that's heavy on surrounding the enemy and just summoning up skeletons and being annoying, having this guy just run and slap you a few times, that's going to hurt if you have a lot of skeletons around. Now his one ability is called Knockout Strike. And against the right armies, this could actually be fantastic. It could be actually really good against Wolfen, or hell, even some other more mobile armies. What Knockout Strike does, its range is contact, obviously, because you're running up to the dude and smacking him. And you make a strike which reduces the movement of the target to 0 until the end of the turn. Now, obviously, you're essentially hamstringing the guy, so you get a -4 accuracy for that attack. You deal normal damage, but it's still actually pretty decent. If you're hitting a guy who, for whatever reason, you don't want to move, this is exactly what you want. It's better than incapacitating shot, because if a Wolfen is incapacitated, whoop-de-doo. We can still probably move like 6 hexes in that one turn. It matters, but not as much as you'd like, I'm sure. But yeah, the Tracking Gargoyle is actually pretty damn good for tier 1. However, my personal tastes stray towards the tier 3, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Now, the tier 2 Gargoyle is 69 AP, 6 movement, and he's more focused on less damage and more reliability. His accuracy and parry go up, and his damage goes down, which is okay. It's a decent trade-off. He's got fear, flight, immunity, fear, the same things, but he's also got elusive, which, for those of you that don't remember, you get a bonus to avoid attacks of opportunity during disengagement or just moving through an endangered space. And it's a plus 30% bonus, which is actually really freaking big. And you also have sneak attack, meaning that your attack will not trigger or riposte, meaning you can attack Melmoth, who has parry on, and not get fucked for it. Pardon my French, but that's the only way to describe a Melmoth with parry. So, yeah. He's not so much a giant... He's technically a giant killer, but at the same time, he's also more of the guy who you can send into the back and just wiggle around and not get destroyed because of it. Because of elusive, you can dodge most of the things. You have a decent parry, and you're actually capable of hitting whatever you were trying to get to in the first place. Now, admittedly, you won't hit as hard as the tier 1 or the tier 3, but you're still an assault unit. You're still dealing 13 damage a hit. Along with that, this guy isn't savage, so you can toss on offensive stance or really whatever you want, and just go ham on whoever is unfortunate enough to get attacked by this sadistic gargoyle. This crazy, crazy bastard. Now, my personal favorite, simply because of how much damage this bastard can deal, is the War Gargoyle. That's my second time saying it. I refuse to say it again. He's a tier 3. He's 76 AP, 7 movement. His accuracy is 12, parry 10, dodge 13. This guy does not care in the slightest about survival. All he cares about is damage. And my friends, damage is what this guy lives for. His damage stat is 17. He has the same toughness, same will, all that's the same. His damage is 17, along with the fact that his ability is War Fury, meaning he has his own personal offensive stance. He can just pop it whenever he wants. And you can just pop that, go in, go to town. Obviously, be careful. Because while offensive stance can deal out a huge amount of damage, you lose the ability to defend yourself. So use it wisely. Now, on his attributes, fear, flight, immunity, fear, savage, no orders on him. And he also has implacable and ruthless. Ruthless is stunned. Get -1 on all your attributes when you first engage with this bastard. And implacable. You gain an additional pursuit movement. Now, implacable 1, it's okay. I don't mind implacable. But the thing is, oftentimes I don't use the tier 3 to focus, well, to go after the really weak units. Like, I do occasionally if there's a space for it. But usually I have him focus down guys like Arrhenius or Melmoth. I just have them go to town on them and hit them as hard as he can. Because he can burst like hell. And if he's going last, he pops offensive stance or War Fury, goes in, bam, bam, you're like halfway dead or more than that, probably more than halfway dead. Next turn comes around. If I go first, I'm popping War Fury again, hitting you again. You're dead. You're down a hero. I'm up 3 elixir points. I'm happy as hell. Now, admittedly, it's a lot harder to do that, at least for me personally, because I'm so aggressive. And also because if you're going up against a decent player, well, here's the thing. They're going to, usually, they're going to focus down your goddamn Wargorg. I said I wouldn't say it. Your tier 3 Gargoyle. Oh god, I hate that word. But they're going to focus your Gargoyle down, regardless of whether it's a tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3. Because in an undead army, and really in most armies other than the Wolfen, the assault units, the lions for the lion army, and the gargoyles for the undead army, are the most dangerous units you're going to come into contact with. Obviously, other than the heroes. But you could have multiple gargoyles running around killing things. Focus on the gargoyles, and guess what? There goes the majority of my damage. Sure, I've still got my paladins and whatnot. I've got my little dinky skeletons. But the majority of my damage comes from my hero and my gargoyle, or gargoyles, however many you want to have in your army. And taking away and picking off that gargoyle severely hinders me. Not only because he costs a decent chunk of AP, but also because of the amount of damage that he can pour out. Like anything, it's a risk. He can pour out a huge amount of damage. He's also really, really glassy. He's a glass cannon. He goes up, smacks you, but guess what? If you position him wrong, or had him go in too early, he's gonna get killed. And while you're gonna get off a lot of damage, it would have been better if you took your time and you waited and you pounced when the opportunity was present. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Next time we're going to be looking at the Priests of the Undead, the Dark Soothsayer, the Master of the Veil, and the Spirit Destroyer. And sorry about the gameplay in the background and how uninteresting it was, but I really just wanted to get this video out as a prime example of one of the problems that Dogs of War has. It's a fantastic game and I love it to death, but it's nowhere near complete. It's still in beta, still has problems it needs to work out. And if you guys have any suggestions to fix this problem, drop it in the comments or toss it onto the forums. I'll see you guys around. Peace.